The Unknown Files, Shadows in Safe Places. Welcome back to The Unknown Files. I'm your host, Swanim. This is the show where we peel back the curtain on stories that slip through the cracks. The ones that make you question every shadow, every friendly face, and every quiet street you once thought was safe. Tonight's episode is called Shadows in Safe Places because, let's be honest, the most terrifying threats aren't lurking in some haunted asylum. They're right next door. They're in small towns where everybody knows your name, in tight-knit circles of friends, and in those silent corners of the world where the news never quite reaches. Tonight we have 3 chilling accounts, all real, all involving an evil that didn't just hide. It thrived in broad daylight. Story 1. The Blue Car in Edgewood. Picture a tiny rural town, population barely 200. It's surrounded by thick, suffocating forests. It's the kind of place where people leave their doors unlocked because there's nothing bad that's ever happening. Our storyteller was 10 years old, visiting her mom's hometown, Edgewood, for a summer camping trip. One afternoon, her mom hands her a dog leash and a $5 bill. Go grab a Pepsi at the store. Take the dog for a walk. Simple, innocent. She's sitting outside the convenience store, enjoying the shade when a blue car pulls up. It's a mess, rusty, cracked windows, like it's been rotting in a field. The driver is a woman in her 50s. She looks unkempt, but she's smiling. She's polite. Then she starts fishing. First, it's makeup. I think you'd look beautiful in this. Want to try it on? Our storyteller is a 10-year-old tomboy. She says no. Then it's food. I've got amazing muffins in the back. Come, take one. When that fails, the mask drops. The polite neighbor voice disappears, replaced by something sharp and cold. You just need to get in the car. What follows is a nightmare. The 10-year-old girl is being hunted by a car moving at a snail's pace. She runs into a nearby campsite for help, but the only person there is a man setting up a tent. Refuses to help because he doesn't want to leave his dog. She had to dive into the bushes, heart hammering against her ribs, watching those headlights loop past her hiding spot over and over, searching for her. The woman eventually sped off, and the girl made it home. But the real chill, her mom didn't believe her. Nobody here would do that, she said. But a stranger was there, and in a town where everybody knows everyone, no one ever figured out who she was. Story 2. The Actor at the Funeral. Now let's move on to a place where we expect to see shadows. A funeral home. Imagine you're 15, helping out at a family business. You handle paperwork, you see grief every day. One morning the phone rings. A man is on the line. His voice absolutely shattered. His wife and infant baby have been murdered. It's the kind of brutal crime that stops a whole town in its tracks. During the viewing, the scene is heart-wrenching. The mother is laid out holding her tiny baby. The husband is a wreck, devastated, shaking, the very picture of a broken man. Our storyteller, just a kid, is tasked with collecting flower cards from the arrangement. He talks to the husband multiple times. They chat about flowers, the people who showed up, normal stuff. The kid feels a deep human connection to this man's pain. But while that grieving husband was shaking hands and accepting sympathy, the police were putting the pieces together. They had an eyewitness, the couple's own 3-year-old daughter. She saw a man leaving the house that day. She recognized him. It was the husband's best friend. The truth was a descent into madness. These 2 friends had made a twisted pact to murder each other's families so they could run off with their secretaries and start clean lives. The man chatting with the 15-year-old kid, looking him in the eye while his wife and baby lay in caskets only 3 feet away, knew exactly what he'd done. He He wasn't grieving, he was performing. Silence in Dnipro. Finally, we go to Ukraine. This isn't a story from the headlines, it's a story made of whispers and classmates' rumors. In Dnipro, back in 2020, two teenage boys, Mark and Daniel, disappeared at the same exact time. A 7-year-old girl vanished too. The details are murky, which makes them worse. Daniel was rumored to be a psychopath obsessed with dark rituals. Mark had a hard life, raised by a grandmother in rough conditions. They were seen together walking away with a little girl who didn't look like she wanted to go. And then, nothing. No major investigation, no updates. A year later, the girl's mother was admitted to a psychiatric hospital, and the case just evaporated. In a world where news spread in seconds, these three people were swallowed by the silence. The rumors suggest foul play, but the lack of answer suggests something even darker. Sometimes the world just stops looking. 3 stories, 3 places that felt safe. A rural road, a funeral viewing, a quiet neighborhood, all of them hiding something sinister. If there's a lesson here, it's this: evil doesn't need the dark to thrive. It hides behind muffins, behind grief, and behind the normalcy of a Tuesday afternoon. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it usually is. If you've had your very own close call or a brush with the unknown, I want to hear it. Send it in, and you might hear your story in a future episode. Stay safe out there, lock your doors, trust your gut, and keep those files unknown until they're not. This is the Unknown Files. Until next time.